All right, welcome to the NBA Talk Show, Episode 1, the Nets, Bulls, and Blake Griffin. I'm your host, Bailey Hauser. We're going to dive right in with the Brooklyn Nets to start off. With the James Harden trade after 2 games, Harden is averaging 33 points per game, 9 rebounds, and 13 assists. So he's clearly getting back to form as he got his way out of Houston and is now playing like an MVP again, albeit 2 games in. KD on the year is averaging 30.6 points per game after the Achilles injury. After everyone had questions on how much of himself he would be, he's clearly even better than before. Kyrie now is going to join the team in the next few days, and I think that it's just going to add to the lethalness of this team offensively. I think they're going to gel just fine. There's not going to be any problems. I think everyone blows Kyrie's mental, if you even want to call him issues, out of proportion. He's very comfortable doing what he needs to do. If he needs to step away from basketball, he's going to do so. He's not concerned about what other people think, and once he gets back to the team, they'll be just fine. The only question mark I have with this team is their big men. After trading away Jared Allen for James Harden, they're only left with Draymond Green and Jeff Green as their big men, although they do have Reggie Perry, who is a second round rookie, but I would not think that he's going to get minutes once playoffs come around. Their bench is looking like Bruce Brown, Timothy Luau Carut, Andrew Shaman, and then Reggie Perry. And then they will probably move Jeff Green to the bench once Kyrie rejoins the team. So that is really the only question mark I have. I think that they need to go out and sign a big or a wing. I'm not sure who at the moment. I'm not sure what the market's looking like. I do know that Gerald Green is out there, I believe, after Houston let him go in the preseason. I think this Nets team is poised for a finals run. At the very least, they're going to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And with this big three, they have under contract for the next 3 years. They're going to at least be in the Eastern Conference Finals for each of the next 3 years. Moving on to the 6-8 Chicago Bulls. I think that Zach LaVine has been a great story this year as he's putting up career high numbers with 27.4 points per game, 4.8 rebounds, and 5.3 assists. And if you've been watching any Bulls games, he has been completely carrying the team offensively and making them way more competitive than they would be without him. The Kobe White at point guard experiment started off pretty well, but so far he's definitely looked a bit out of sorts and he is very turnover prone, which has been costing them games like the 20 point per game choke against the Thunder. I think that this team could make a couple moves to become competitive enough to make the playoffs because I'm not sure that they are quite there yet. Um, I would like to see them trade for Andre Drummond, and I think that giving up Wendell Carter for this would be worth it. I'm not sure that he fits with this team anymore. I think that they're going in a different direction, being guard heavy, and they already have Lowry. So I'm not sure that Wendell really fits a role on this team anymore. And I think Drummond can come in and be that rebounder that they need, that Wendell is not really doing at the moment. I also think they need a point guard to really facilitate for the team and play make for others because right now Zach LaVine is essentially doing it all because Kobe is struggling so much. Although he does have his moments, but I think that they truly do need a veteran presence in there for Kobe to learn the point guard position, and what better than to get D Rose out of Detroit and bring him home to Chicago once again. I think that they can make a trade for D Rose with giving up Denzel Valentine and maybe Chandler Hutchinson and some second rounders. I wouldn't be mad if you give up both of those players and 2 second rounders all for D Rose. And I think the Pistons would do it because those are young players and they're getting draft assets. With these 2 trades, I think the Bulls would become competitive and make the playoffs this year, and that's what everyone in Chicago and every Bulls fan wants to see after the dreadful Jim Boylan years and even Fred Hoiberg years, because Jimmy completely carried those Fred Hoiberg years, but that's a different story. I'd like to move on now to Blake Griffin. And I'm not sure what has gotten into Blake Griffin this year through 10 games, but he's currently averaging 12.9 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, and 4.3 assists with a PER of 11.6. And he's shooting 38.3% on field goals and 31% on three-pointers. To put that into perspective, his career numbers are 21.5 points per game, 8.8 rebounds per game, 4.4 assists per game, with a PER of 21.9, and his field goal percentage has been 49.7 for his career. So he is down 11% on field goals. His 3-point percentage is 33%, so he is still near that mark, although he is putting up an incredibly more amount of threes this year than he ever has. He's averaging 7.1 3-point attempts per game, when in his career he's been averaging 2. He's also not getting to the free throw line anymore like he used to be. For his career, he was averaging 6.8 free throw attempts, and this year he's averaging 2.8 attempts. And if you watch his game, he's really just not getting to the cup like he used to. He looks like he's lost all athleticism. Can he can't back anyone down and get down low and get easy buckets, whether it's Drew Holiday or Duncan Robinson. He cannot score on anyone anymore down low. I'm not sure what's happened to him. He just strictly wants to spot up for three. He's had a game this year where he's shot 16 threes and 10 threes, and there's no way that Blake Griffin should be putting up 16 threes in a game. I don't care what year it is. I don't care that the NBA has shifted to three-point shooting. That's not Blake's game. So it's a huge red flag for me that he can't be right health-wise. There's got to be something wrong. I don't know if he's lost all athleticism, his knees are gone, or what. He did miss a lot of time last year as well, I believe. It was about 15 games that he played. So he has been very injury prone lately, but the last time we saw a healthy Blake, he carried the Pistons to the playoffs, and I was expecting to see that again this year. So this is very concerning, and I hope that he turns it around because it has only been 10 games. So it could be an overreaction, but I'm very concerned that it isn't an overreaction because of the way he looks on the court with the lack of athleticism and movement. He's just become a spot up 3-point shooter and not a good one. That is all for episode 1 of the NBA Talk Show. I've been your host, Bailey Hauser. Thank you for listening. Socials are posted in the description below, and please subscribe if you liked what you heard. I will be pumping out some more episodes as the NBA season continues.